Partial scenario. This is a made-up story. Yesterday I earned $30 picking apples. Today I earned $85. The lady that pays me says to me, "You see, isn't it much better today?" And my answer was, "No, I'm still $5 short." So what is the lady going to say to me? "Why are you $5 short?" And I'm going to say to her, "Because I picked 3 bins, each of equal size, but because one of the bins had rotten apples in it that you told me to pick, you're paying me $5 less because you're getting less money. Where the minimum wage to pick those 3 bins, okay, I'm still short $2 an hour. So where is my advantage and where is your disadvantage? Because you never have a disadvantage." That's how it went. That's how it basically went. You know, you got my drift? Some people say, "You're a mathematician." I go, "No, I'm just a magician." The magician with numbers. Making the numbers work, finagling them. I finagle the numbers to make them work. I was reading a little story where they say ISIS, right, has something to do with the moon. I don't remember the exact story. I'm going to go back if I can find that page. The original Masons set up ISIS. Oh, I kid you not. But when the real meaning of moon worship is applied to ISIS, it all makes sense. Moon worship. Now, I'm not going to get into that. I'm not going to get into the mathematician, or magician, because what I do is I believe I can make magic with the words and bring the truth out. And everybody's going, "How did you do that?" Moon is number 57, okay, counting A through Z. But counting it the other way, moon would be 14, 12, 12, and 13. So we have 27 and 24, and the moon ends up working out to the number to Mars. Now, if I count Mars backwards, I end up with 14, 26, and 9, and 8, which is a total of 57. So when I count Mars backwards, I get the moon. Okay? When I count the moon backwards, I get Mars. The total minus is 6 or 108. That's when I add and I multiply. I add and I subtract. Now, when you add and you subtract, your addition sign is like this. Your subtraction sign is like this. When it's a subtraction, it's above and below. When it's an addition, and you have to understand what happens. The difference between your calculations is as so. The plus sign must include 4 boxes, or you cannot do it, because you cannot draw a straight line through any one of these boxes because there's no line to draw it straight. The multiplication sign can be drawn in one square, saying each one of these squares can be multiplied. And then we take this and put it over the top of this, and we get the total of their multiplication star system, which is one part of the Magen David star. And Magen David, or David, meaning divide. Divide and conquer, divide and battle, whichever way you want to look at it. There's also other ways to describe the moon. By the 14th letter is N, L, L, M. Nelem. Nephilim. Like Nephilim man, if you want to look at it. Because it's what it sounds to certain people who can read or make this shit up. Hypothetical situation. There is many people that don't like me theorizing. They don't like me to reading theories, which also mean theories, meaning and rhyming, and what else if I say words that almost sound the same? Series, theories, almost sounds the same, because it's just a whole big game. I don't know how they did it or how they brought it, or it's just one giant smart mathematician that made this up because it's so incredible. It's so old. In order for this to work, it's got to be older than time, you know? Moses was a stone cutter. Isn't that funny? He went up to Mount Sinai and brought down 2 stones. Was Moses a stoner? Apparently, I was listening on the radio today. Like in the future, they're not going to say stoners anymore. I mean, they say boozers. A stoner is someone who smokes too much weed, who sits back and who vegetates all day. That's a stoner. Getting stoned is something different. Smoking pot and using pots for the kettle is something different. Crossing borders and telling them you smoke weed or own weed stalks is even something different. They are making people hate each other. Doesn't anybody see it? They make us hate each other. The gentleman from downstairs in my apartment building runs upstairs, huffing and puffing. Whose car is that? It's your friend's car parked in my spot. I don't know. It's my car. Your friend's car is parked in my spot. I go, no. He was mad that I made a decision to park my car in his spot. He hasn't had a car in 4 years. But next door to me, right, he used to work in the Hells Angels. And next door to me, they're salespeople for that group who lives next door and respect nobody. So I said, but what about the people next door? He says, you let me worry about the people next door. It's my spot. I'll let who I want park there. He says, I know them 5 years. The thing is, I'm here 14 years and he knows me 7 years. So you can see what kind of people I have. People are very, very funny. They're either selfish, self-centered, all out for themselves, etc., etc. I was thinking of being nice and parking my car somewhere else for a little bit, because the lady next to me, it's really squishy, the parking lot. You know what they did to my parking lot? She paired up all the small cars together and the bigger, and everybody moved to the way they said. This building here where I rent, when I get my rent to renew my rent, do you know what it says on my lease? It says accept the augmentation or get the hell out, basically. Not even a legal lease. So every year I go to the regie, which is the housing unit, and I get the real lease and I send it back to him, and it costs me $10 every single year or $15 every single year to do it. I have no laundry room because the owner been promising me for I don't know how many years, 2 years already. The last owner promised me. The owner in this building, she threatened me. She said, you know what, I'm going to throw you out and put my daughter in your place. Okay. Because I didn't agree with the $30 rent increase, which was 4%. I don't even want to agree with a 2%. Anyways, cocking the Gornish. Not really sure. Working like a dog. Working like a dog. The reverse, the Holy Ghost and the Spirit. The Holy is 60. Ghost is 69. Spirit is 91. Now, if I reverse all of these numeric values, inside Spirit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inside Spirit, the word Spirit. Does anybody see anything? Does anybody? You see, because me, I see R-I-T, and for me that means rice in French. And the minute I think of rice, I think of pulsating electronics. So I'm thinking that in Spirit, in which the S and the P are on both, so although there's 36 numbers in roulette, although after 18 it repeats itself, I'd like to either start to repeat the alphabet backwards, where I count up to P is 16. The 26th letter is supposed to be Z, right? Now, this is going to be really confusing because I'm already confused with it. How do I have only 26 letters and I have 10 numbers, and one of the numbers is is 0. So I'm going to have to use the 0 as 0, 1. Okay, and if you use 0, 1 or 1, 0, binary 1 is 1. But 10, okay, has a value of 2 in binary. 0, 1. Binary 2. So the first one is 1, the next one is 2. Now the next one is 1 and 9. Okay, now how are we going to use binary? I don't know. 1 and 9 equals to 10, so you're looking at 1. Now 19, okay, and 28 in roulette, 1 and 9 is 10, 2 and 8 is 10, but they're not the same colors. It's the only two, number 1 is the only two running red and black. So there's a whole big game going on there. And anyways, let me move on to mother and father. Mother is number 34, okay, to a short count of Pythagorean, which is the DC world, and it is the S spirit, the one spirit of the 9 birth. When you increase mother to a numeric value of M13, O15 equaling 28 cycle of the moon, Mo. Father is FA, which is 6 and 1, the spirit of 76, the one spirit that is brought into the 6th man. Flip 9 over to 1. You see 6 and 1 father, when you flip that 6 over, it becomes 91 spirit. And then THER, time, heaven, electronic, running through the moon. Mother and father, electronic, running through the moon. When you say mare, okay, is mother, M-E-R-E, but when you say mare without the E, it now becomes the ocean. Okay, so mare is number 41, which is your DNA through the birth, the son of Venus. Okay, in the who, what, when, where world. And the reason for that is that 10 and 20, where 10 or 1 fits in the middle of 2, according to dice and according to cards, because of how the designs are in the cards. If you take a look at a dice cube, okay, you're going to see 6 sides on the dice cube, where the 1, number 1, is included in both 3 and 5. So we don't need to use the 1. Throw away the 1. When you add up 1 to 6, it equals to 21 because we no longer need the 1. Take it away, we now have only 21. Why? 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 equals to 21. Blackjack. BJ is also 21. Why? Because the B is the second letter and the J is the 10th letter, bringing it to 1. Okay. So now we don't actually either need the 2, because the 2 is inside the 4. The 2 is inside the 4 twice, inside the 5 twice, and inside the 6 twice. 2, 2, 2. So we don't need the 2. Now the 3 dice, we don't need it either, because the 3 is inside the 5. Okay. We don't need the 4 dice, because the 4 is inside the 5. So we don't need 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 equals to 10. But we do need the 5 and the 6. The 6 is the equivalent of the half-life, because the 2 dots in the center, you have 4 on the outside, and then 2 in the center splitting the 1. 1 in the center, 6 gets the 2 dots. 1 and 2 is not actually in the 3 dice, but it's in the 6 cube. And I'm going to show you that 6 cube right over here, where you have the 1 over here on this side, 1, and 2 of the half-life, because it's in between the 4 corners. This way, we're creating the H. When we turn it this way, it creates the I. The theory of relativity. What is relative and why? Here's the 2, and you see the 2 is in the 5. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 numbers that equal 10, and 2 numbers that equal to 11. 5 and 5 equals to 11. 4 times 2.5 equals to 10. 25 or 52 equals to Earth, the numeric value for Earth. And 1155 is the freedom spirit, because the spirit of 76 creates 55. And 55 will create 10, an electric company. Because of the multiplication, 5 times 5, 25. 5 plus 5 equals 10. It's a total of 35. 3, okay, is inside of 5. So the 5 value actually picks up and swallows 3 and 1. So you get 5, 3, and 1, and that says ace. When you get 2 and 4, that's the numeric value for cat, and it's B and D, or bed, or Betty, or Betty Bye, or bait, for the second Hebrew letter of bait, catching the worm. Something is caught up inside. They're telling us a story. Even in Hebrew Torah, sound off, there's a story. When you can sing about something, something else or other that you can discover or know there is no other time. So when you're singing these things and you get a vibration, and if you get a little stoned or you have a little drink, you can release yourself from, oh, I shouldn't be doing this. I'm just going to embarrass myself. We can't have any of that. So anyways, we did father, mother, and mer, or rem. Rem means dream. Mer means the sea or the ocean, controlled by the moon, and what we're dreaming of the passage of the spirits. The era in the pair. Pair, okay, P-E-R-E, I mean, you don't even see it. But mother, right? Mother says ocean, and father says two fathers. So there's 2 fathers to 1 ocean, controlled electronic by the moon. What's it saying? I'm sitting here at home, working 14 years alone. By now I should have given up. No? Right. No. No. The other thing is what I like about number 27, saying win a big red sun, is that 20 is the T letter and 7 is the G letter, and that is your gateway. The pyramid in gematria. Those are the setup numbers. God, O Lord, holy G host, to the spirit bring on man be born. Lord is 49, the gateway, the green gateway. Spirit is 91. 69 is the host, the birth of man. What is 6 or 60? 69. 69. Anyways, is there anything else? No, I'm still working on odds and evens, the DNA creation of 2 sides of the street, right? Because the odd numbers are on one side, the even numbers are on the other side. Wrong again. When you get up to 10, it now switches to odd, then switches to even, then switches to odd. When you count the numbers, get to 26, looks even, right? 2 and 6 is 8. Get to 18, 1 and 8 is 9. What's in between? 2, 4, 6. 3 between before it turns over, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you have 4 even, 5 odd. 4 even, 5 odd. What's the number into the sun? 4, 5, 4, 5, 5, 4, 5, 4. So now we got another story. We got another theory. We're building something else. 17 minutes of unprepared. Anyways, going to let it go. Raphael 7286 in a constellation of Pegasus. Hopefully I'm drilling into the matrix right now, and it doesn't like what it's hearing, because it knows that if I know, then these kids that are being born today, somebody else would know. That if a 50-year-old man knows, he knows that my liberty is coming up in 2 weeks. It's my birthday, October 4th, 1963. I'll be 55. My brother is just turned 56. He will be 57 before I'm 56. Numeric value to freedom in the moon. My father is communication. He will be 80 in a month and a half. My mother just turned 75, and she will be 76, the spirit freedom, when my brother, by the time my brother hits 57, and my sister will be 54. And she will now bring in the sun, and my other sister next year will now be 50. Bring on pink love. Pink is 50 at 2525. P-I-N-K. P-K, 11 and 16, 27 and 23. 23 is the breaker. Why? Because I'm not sure if it was McKinley, but between Grover Cleveland president and Grover Cleveland president, number 23. Okay, it was in the middle. 23 is a 5, so we have 4, 5, and 6. Federation, death, only because of the position of the letters in the alphabet. But if If I went to the telephone and looked at the letters, it would be different. Now we have to understand categories. There's so many things to look up and over. Pi is the ring to everybody, and I'm not even sure if really when you get to a certain number in pi, even though it continues and it ever repeats itself, what's it actually saying? Does anybody want to know what is the question about pi? What is the question about Fibonacci? What is the question about binary? They're telling another story other than the numbers. Anyways, what do I do? Any suggestions? How can I tell the lady, hey, I work for $30 and I work 10 hours. You were learning today. Okay, I learned today. If I go in tomorrow and I make 50, I shouldn't. Nobody should have to work under $10 an hour. Because there's people that are coming in making 15, 16 bucks an hour. Anyways, I don't like to say it online. It's only for a few days in the next month for the apples, and then it's over. Feeding the starving child is great. I love it. That's the only way to put the money in the pocket. Believe it or not, $17.50 in gas to make $30. Coffee in the morning and my little biscuit. So I spent 21 bucks. I made $9 today. But I have experience and I know I can triple up. But no matter what anybody says, next year, see, I'm already looking at the next year because it's called the triage, where you're separating them. And I started the video out this way. You're separating them. So if I'm separating them, I shouldn't have to pay to separate your work. Anyways, Raphael, thank you. 7286 in a constellation of Pegasus. Praise God from the north, the east, the west, and the south. Bring me the news. Thank you for watching.